And so appreciation to all of you for joining tonight. Maybe even placing a hand on the heart or another soothing, supportive touch to just honor yourself for making time and space, for joining Sangha this evening to practice with the community as we're sitting here December 30th, 2025, kind of on the threshold, leaning in towards 2026. We can often at this time, year after year, sort of become aware. It's a time of sort of awareness of the past year and the future. And often the emotional kind of landscape of this time is rarely one color. It's usually a tapestry of mixed emotions, maybe some grief, some hope, some relief, maybe even some trepidation. And in Sangha each week, we invite, in fact, encourage really this invitation that we can hold both, that rarely are we feeling just one way, particularly at big moments like this, or as we stand here at the threshold of one calendar year to the next. And this can be an opportunity to really explore the opposites, what the Buddha taught the middle way, is really being able to hold both, hold all of what we're experiencing. We talk a lot about the both and, the dialectic. And so for some, you might be experiencing joy at the end of this year. Phew, it's over. That there might be some long exhale, some letting go. Others might be letting go with a feeling of grief, acknowledging that a part of their life is over. A little micro kind of mourning a segment of life, and this recognition of impermanence can give rise to that. Of course, the new year might welcome in new opportunities, even just in our own mind, a sense of beginning again, an opportunity for beginner's mind. I often like to think about getting that new calendar, of that fresh calendar, a new year, a blank page. You might have the thrill of the arrival of a new year, new possibilities, or of course, fear of the unknown. So we might feel anxious. So as we practice in this arrival practice tonight, arriving into this moment right here, at this threshold, this place between one year and the next, we can use our mindfulness. So an invitation to consider how really beginning and endings are not really solid. Even though on a piece of paper we might turn the page, in reality, really it's much more fluid. In fact, we might not even really consider January 1st to be the new year. In many traditions, it comes at a different time. we can consider that in each moment we begin and end. There's a birth, a beginning, the taking in of your breath as you inhale, and a releasing and letting go on the exhale. In many ways, the concept of a year, right, is really a mental construct. And in mindfulness, we practice becoming aware of mental constructs, all the meaning that we attribute to it. And some of our practice is to let go of that, to release it, to loosen the grip of that, to really see clearly that reality is just this moment. Some say time and space, right? The way we hold them in our awareness is actually not as they are. And yet we can hold the calendar with a sense of usefulness without attachment to it. And I feel like the mindfulness invites us to practice this both and is a way of cultivating equanimity. Where we build our strength, or rather, we expand our capacity. We become capable of holding both. With mindfulness, our capacity grows and grows until we see that we can not only hold both, be with both, but we find this way, and that's the middle way. And finally, right here, right now, as we sit sort of in this threshold, we can think of this as sort of that liminal space between 2025 and 2026. And in this place can be a really special place, this gap. And in mindfulness, we practice attending to that place. Sometimes in the breath, as we breathe in and breathe out, that space between one breath and the next. Some teachers call this a place of pure potentiality. We can linger a little bit here without rushing into making it, setting intentions or resolutions, right? Or either sitting in awareness of maybe regrets or playing back the year. We can invite ourselves in tonight for these few moments here as we arrive to be in the transition itself, to just be here now. So, an invitation to really take up space right now, to let yourself be and breathe and feel your aliveness. And as we sit this evening, this invitation to offer our old self, the self of 2025, really honoring that part of ourself, maybe offering, since many of us here this evening, we might offer to ourselves, may you be at peace with what has ended. May you be open to what is arriving. And may you find the ground of the present moment where both truths meet. Maybe taking a moment to really recognize and acknowledge anything that you're feeling about the ending of the year. If there's a sense of relief, grief, sorrow, gladness, whatever emotion or sense, and maybe both. Just maybe taking a moment for those of you who are visual to imagine yourself sitting here on the threshold in this middle place of which we are in every moment. We're simply bringing awareness to this moment. To acknowledge what's come before. Maybe even to open ourselves to letting go and releasing. And acknowledging any of the emotions that arise with this invitation. And in a moment, I'm going to ring the bells to end the arriving practice. And you can take a moment to stretch or to move back into a posture that supports you for the second part of the practice. And first, moving attention to maybe your home base what you find to help anchor you. It could be your breath, perhaps a sensation in the body, a sense of feeling grounded here in this moment. For others, they might find it helpful to really open awareness to the sounds around them in the room or outside. Sounds can be grounding, can help us to feel really present where we are in our surroundings. And now, this invitation, if it's comfortable for you to move attention to your breath for a few moments as we simply notice the breath, just one single breath at a time, beginning to feel and sense one single breath, beginning with the arrival of the inhale, feeling the fullness as your body fills with that breath, and the eventual release and exhale. And at the bottom of that exhale, you might sense that gap. And then another breath. So as we use our mindfulness, this way of paying attention to the simple sensations, the changing sensations of our breath, as we feel the body take in, fill up, and release, and rest, that little gap. We might think of honoring and letting go with the exhale, particularly as we bring into awareness this evening the end of 2025. And whatever it was that maybe became activated in your thoughts, maybe emotions around this past year, you might allow, as the body exhales, to touch into any sense of relief that you might have about some of these things of letting go. Maybe even imagine releasing the weight of the year, the challenges, the mistakes, whatever it is, that with each exhale, there's a deeper and deeper awareness of it letting go. And of course, you might acknowledge any of the sorrow, acknowledging any grief of the passing of time, even any grief of the passing of any loved ones. Even letting go of past versions of ourselves. as we honor this sort of moment that we're in, this threshold of releasing 1 year, perhaps opening to holding both, perhaps both relief and grief. Knowing that it would be natural to feel both. And of course, whatever you're feeling, that there's no right or wrong way, simply an invitation to acknowledge what's here. And now turning at that threshold from that releasing and letting go, that looking back, we might turn around. Imagine turning towards 2026 with inviting beginner's mind. For really, truly, none of us know what this year will bring. And so, as we look at this new year as a fresh canvas, maybe a blank slate, you might notice for some, they might begin to feel excitement, maybe even refreshing sense of hope. And for others, fear. Perhaps even both. That we don't want to chase away fear or judge ourselves if we're not feeling hope or excitement. That in this moment, all that really matters is the way in which we hold ourselves, our experience, in this loving awareness, this way of accepting. And this is simply a moment to acknowledge the feelings that arise, the thoughts, the beliefs, as we invite ourselves to notice that we're at this threshold. And if it feels right for you, you might maybe place your left hand on your heart, honoring the past grief and relief of what is over, what is coming to an end, or what has ended already. And the pain of that. And perhaps a right hand, placing it on your leg, honoring the future. That we're stepping into in a few short days into a new year. Perhaps with some excitement, but also fear. And whatever else you're experiencing. And that between these two is truly this space this moment of being here now, where you're neither in the past, what's already ended and come before, and what's yet to come. You are neither there in the past or in the future. You're simply here. And as we end our practice this evening, I'd like to end with a little more metta, honoring the year that was. You might consider offering yourself these wishes. May I be at peace with the person I was in 2025. May I offer gratitude to the self that survived the hardships of this year. May I offer gratitude and compassion to the self that survived the hardships of this year. May I forgive myself for the things I left unfinished. May I hold my grief for what has passed with a tender and open heart. May I savor some of those sweet, precious moments that I was able to capture throughout 2025. And you might take a moment to wish yourself, offering some other metta as you honor the letting go of 2025. And now, as we meet the year to come, you might offer some metta, some wishes for yourself. May I meet the unknown of 2026 with courage and curiosity. May I be steady in the face of uncertainty and remember that I am not alone. May I welcome new joy without the shadow of waiting for the other shoe to drop. May my heart be open to welcome joy without the shadow of waiting for the other shoe to drop. May I trust my capacity to handle whatever arrives at my door. And an invitation to offer any other wishes that you might have for yourself this coming year. And finally, as we invoke kind of this wish for all of us, to practice, to walk this middle path, that may I grow in my capacity to hold both and. May I learn to find this still point, this gap between my no longer and my not yet to come. May I walk into this new year one mindful step at a time. And finally, together as a Sangha, a beautiful community, offering any other wishes that you might have for yourself, for others. Remembering that we practice not just for ourselves, but truly the whole world. That each time we create time and space to sit and gather and practice, that we're cultivating love, kindness, peace, ease, not just in ourselves, but also in others. So as we cross this threshold together, may the equanimity we have cultivated tonight be in benefit to all beings. And in this world that often feels polarized, rushed, with so much suffering, may we be a presence that honors the both and. May our peace with the past and our openness to the future bring a sense of groundedness to everyone we meet. May we bring peace and light and love. with each step. Namaste. Hmm. And so, this opportunity to just take a few moments to kind of rest in awareness of what's here, what landed, what felt just right for you. What might you want to linger a bit with this evening? You might jot things down if you like. We're certainly going to share some journal prompts. But deep, deep appreciation for joining us, and an invitation to keep coming, right? Our plan is definitely to be here.